Hi, this is Rob from Rob's Roast Coffees, bringing you the third part of our series on coffee processing. This is part 2C, the honey process. Why is it called the honey process? What does it mean to the flavors you can expect in your cup? What are the different processes involved? So if you have any questions, requests, or comments, please leave them below and I will try to respond to all of them and produce more videos on more topics if that's something that you'd like me to do. Just as a quick reminder, there are 4 parts to this series. Part 2A was the natural process. 2B was the washed process. This one you're watching is 2C, the honey process, and 2D is the wet hulled process, which are considered to be the 4 main processes in the coffee processing world. So keep an eye out for those if you'd like to learn more about the other processes. Today we're talking about the honey process, which is a bit of a hybrid process. If you watched the other 2 videos on the natural process and the washed process, you may recognize some of the things that we're going to talk about here. As a matter of fact, that first photo at the top of the screen there, where we're depulping the cherries to leave a little bit of mucilage on them, is the same exact photo I used in 2B, the washed process. So it starts out with that mechanical, manual process of stripping the skins off of the coffee cherries and leaving a little bit of mucilage. But in the second photo, what you're going to see is something that's reminiscent of the natural process. Instead of soaking those coffee cherries in water to break down the mucilage, we're going to leave that sticky mucilage on there, which is why it's called the honey process, and we're going to dry them in the sun. And that's going to take 1 to 2 weeks to dry in the sun. It's going to be a bit of a tricky process, a manual process, a time-consuming process, but that's also what's going to impart some of the unique flavors to the honey processed coffee that you might be buying from your favorite coffee roaster. And as you can see in the bottom section there, different amounts of mucilage that are left on the coffee bean will require different amounts of drying time in the sun, and they're going to produce what are the 3 different types of honey process: the yellow, the red, and the black. And obviously, the more mucilage that's left on there, the longer it takes to dry in the sun, the darker it's going to be. So they can vary anything from 8 to 30 days of drying, which is a pretty manual and labor-intensive process. But in the end, the result is going to be some dry coffee beans that hopefully have a moisture content of between 10 and 12%, so that your local roaster, like me, I can take those coffee beans and roast them up, turn them into drinkable, delicious coffee for your cup.